Oh my
Hello.
gosh, fancy seeing you here.
Could never imagine seeing you in this place where you live.
You never thought I'd show my face around these ends again, did I?
Did I?
Did I? I
Did
don't even know.
I?
Do you know, honestly, today my English is proper second language. It's giving
Oh,
second language today. My English is awful today.
oh, bless you. It's
Oh no, don't
fine.
feel sad. It's fine.
I
It's
will
not like
feel
I'm
sad. It
British.
will feel. Don't start that. Not on this very auspicious special occasion of this podcast episode.
Okay. We're not going to
Okay?
talk about that.
No.
But we'll save it for another we'll save it for another episode.
hmm
But just as a teaser, I have recently found out that I'm actually not British. So I'm currently processing that I'm on a journey.
You are British. Okay? You're just having some issues right now. I don't know what that was giving, but it was giving that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not British, am I?
Right, let's not talk about
No, we're not
that.
going to talk about it. Anyway,
No.
welcome everybody to the You Don't Love Me Boys podcast. My name is Amir, and I am here with my co-host, co-partner, and half payer of the rent.
my husband, I was going to say your husband, Amir. Also
My
Amir.
husband, also Amir. Yeah, you have to mention half payer of the rent. Cosy Livies.
half payer of the
Cosy
rent.
Livies, babe.
I wish I wasn't half payer of the rent.
Yeah, well, we'll work on that.
Yeah,
won't
hurry
we?
up. You know what I mean?
How are
Get the
you?
gig.
Get the gig.
Get the gig.
What you do? What is that? Okay, so what is that in your hand for the
Oh yeah.
audio only people? What are you doing?
I have an iPad because we're being official now
We're being
and taking this
professionals.
very seriously.
Taking it
So
very
I just
seriously.
held up a picture of you in drag, like get the gig.
Yeah. Good
Well,
for
a video
you.
of you doing something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is a very special episode in partnership with Gather App.
With Gather App.
We are building communities with the Gather App today.
Gather App.
Gather her.
Gather her.
Gather her. And you know, it's really cool to be partnering with an app and just talking about kind of our experiences of loneliness in the LGBT community.
Yeah. It's a really important topic. I think whenever we've partnered with a brand, we've always wanted to make sure that there's synergies in terms of what we believe in, what we talk about, what we want to talk about, and what the other brand is bringing in. And I think Gather App sort of um, it really sits in well with what we've spoken about and what a lot of
Mm.
people these days are speaking about, particularly gay men in their 30s.
Mhm.
And I'm sure it's not just gay men, I'm sure it's, all sorts of people. Even some of my straight friends actually talk about, feeling lonely once they hit a certain age. And I think for gay men, especially, it can be quite tricky because I think we struggle serving our purpose because we struggle to understand what our purpose is. And so it's difficult to find like minded people
Mm.
and sort of have a shared experience that goes beyond just social entertainment.
Mm.
And I'm saying that as somebody who works in entertainment. So I think when Gather Up came, we were quite excited, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. It's a new app, by the way. It's absolutely brand new, and I love when something's new and fresh because you get to see the growth of it and how something
Yes.
builds. You know, it's like when we started this podcast and it grew. You know, and
I have been
love
there
it.
since the start of this
Can you believe it?
podcast.
Me too.
I've seen
We
it
did it.
grow.
We did
Yeah.
it. We did it.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. And yeah, I think it's fantastic when something's in its baby stage, and we get to be part of the growth of this.
Do you know what? You need to learn corporate jargon
Why?
because you said that the app is in its baby phase.
Stage.
It's in its infancy.
Infancy, sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be that girl, you know.
It's in its pre-stages.
No, I don't. I don't want to be that girl.
Yeah, let's loop in and we'll close this so that we've got some
Shut up.
critical key talking points. To get
Shut
through.
up,
Yeah.
girl. Bye. But I did want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
I really wanted to make this a situation where, like, you're in the spotlight and I'm Miss Professional Fish over here on my iPad.
Pause for a second though. Can we talk about how fit you look today?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you've glued.
Oh, thank you. Are you
but-
looking for a compliment as well
For
here?
people who are no, not yet. For people who are wondering what glued means, is when you have a glow up, but I've changed it to glued.
We love saying glued.
because when you've glown up,
Yeah.
you've glued.
She glued.
She glued.
Like when I showed you that artist and I was like, this is them a few years later, you're like, oh my God, she glued.
glued. Who was it? Was it Scissor?
No, it's Summer Walker.
Summer
You're
Walker.
like, wow, she
Oh,
glued,
Summer Walker glued.
glued hard.
She literally, she's giving post pandemic.
She's giving like, I've glued.
Yeah,
Give me the glue sticks.
she's like lockdown. I don't know her.
She was like, Brit Stick.
Yeah,
Who is she?
glued. Yeah,
Glue.
who is Pritt Stick?
She was like, reception, I
who's
eat the glue.
who's Little Miss Gorilla Glue? She's Little Miss Gorilla Glue.
Honestly,
Yeah,
girl,
glued.
girl,
You're glued.
girl, everyone's gluing.
Yeah, looking good. No, but well done. Good for you.
I hate you. Thank
Good for
you.
you.
Thank you. But you're doing very well as well, aren't you? You've
I
been
mean,
on a nice little weight loss journey.
yes, I have. Next
That's it.
question.
Wow, that's it. No, that's your own personal journey.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mhm.
next question would be, have you personally experienced like loneliness within the LGBT space?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
To put it simply, I have experienced loneliness in the LGBT community, particularly when it came to finding out where I sat with it and what my
Mm.
position was. When I was younger, I wasn't out. I really started coming out when I lived in Budapest when I was 19 years old. And over there, I just needed to feel i- in every
Oh, I
single
bet you
way.
did. I bet you
Yeah.
needed to feel.
And so when I was being tokenized for the color of my skin, I was fine with it because I just needed to feel. And, I would get blind drunk just so that I'd have the confidence to speak to someone. And, in my own twisted way, I wasn't able to see the humanity in other people. I wouldn't be able to see them beyond people who I would potentially have sex with.
Mm.
And I think that distorted view was because of how being gay was considered deviant, but also it was something that was kept at bay from me when I was growing up. I didn't have that representation around me, and so I had a very distorted view of what it meant to be gay. Now I have a lot more compassion for people.
Mm.
That was my sort of experience, and it was very difficult to meet somebody who wasn't sexually interested. And there's people who talk about this even today that they experience a similar thing. Um, but I think if we were to put that aside and just meet people who are gay and have gone through common experiences without the pressure of sex, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you want to make a connection that goes beyond just jumping into bed with each other, then I think that could be an amazing thing. And you have this with loads of other communities as well.
Mm.
I recently came across an organization that specializes in migration for South Asians because they understand the unique experience that entails, and so they have resources that can help that specific community. And I think if we are gay people trying to navigate a predominantly heterosexual world, and that's just is what it is, then I think um it would be brilliant to be able to share our common experiences to sort of better each other.
No, I agree. I do think that we have to still remind ourselves, we are like in a minority,
Mm,
and we have similarities, we have differences even within that.
mm.
But finding common ground within that, that's not just sex, is important.
Yes.
It's very, very important. It's important to see yourself in other people.
Mm.
Oh well. Oop. It's important to experience friendship
Yeah.
within the gay community, and it's very, very important because when I started using the apps,
Mhm.
the gay apps, it was all about sex.
Mm.
It was literally not about friendship. I
Mm.
was not looking for friendship. I didn't really program my mind to believe friendship from gay people could exist.
Yeah.
So let's not blame other people. It was my perception of myself
Mm.
and my perception of the community. And if all of us are having this perception,
Mm.
then what's it going to be like?
Yeah, and if you don't know what people's common interests are, then what are you going to do? Like a bar is a great way to meet people, as they say, but a bar is also a great place to meet all sorts of people. Your um, sugar daddies, your grifters, your serial killers. We're all in one room. Like, do you know? Obviously,
Well,
that's an
the
extreme
music's
example.
blaring, everyone's drinking.
Yeah, and even if you go earlier on when the music's
Yeah.
quieter, it's great to meet, but it's difficult to strike a conversation with a stranger, especially when you don't have um a, a, a bit of a background as to who they are, what they are, whether they have anything in common with you or not. How
Mm.
many times have you and I gone to a bar and somebody's came up and struck a conversation with us, and we're like, oh, why did you say that? Like,
Yeah. Oh,
do you know what I
girl,
mean? How
trust
yeah,
me.
why did you wanna know why we're brown? Or why
To
did
the
you
point I don't
wanna
go out.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Talk about that.
To the point like in the queer community, I just don't go out anymore.
No.
You really will rarely catch me.
Mm,
Maybe when you've got a gig and I want to go to the gig, or like if it's a quick stop at a bar during the day
mm,
or early evening, not even that. I don't want to because I don't want to be put in a position where someone's gonna say something awkward
mm,
or anything to me, and I shouldn't feel like that, but I
mm,
do feel like that. That's why I think online is important.
mm,
I personally have met like my gay friends online. You
mm.
know,
Yeah, you've been a massive advocate for social media for that your
huge.
entire life. Like, you would have friends who
Always.
you've met through
Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, yeah.
Twitter was the main space for it.
Formerly known as X.
No, X, formerly known as Twitter.
No. We're
No,
going
but
back. Everything's going back.
I've met friends previously that might not, communicate with anymore through Twitter.
Mm,
I met friends over the last few years through social media,
mm,
and it's other gay brown people that I've met through that, and not just with
mm,
interests. Like,
mm.
oh my god, we all love Ariana Grande. That's an interest, you
Yeah.
know. Oh my god, we all love this kind of movie, this kind of topic, these kind of books, spirituality, this, and
Mm,
it's finding gay people with common interests that I really is it's really important. It goes back to your point where like it can't just be about sex.
no.
It has to be about more than that, and you have to feel fulfilled in so many different ways. So I love, love social media for meeting like-minded people.
Yeah.
You can curate your own timelines. You can make your own choices and decisions with who you want to communicate with and who you don't want to communicate with, frankly.
Yeah.
Like, someone can't just come up to you like they do in a bar. They can go on your mentions, they can message you, but you can just put your phone away or delete
Yeah.
it.
Or you could just switch off majority of your notifications like I have. I don't think I have any notifications on. My phone is in do not disturb mode for the majority of the day.
Do you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
You should be able to choose when you want to dip in
Yeah.
and out of the world.
And somebody's like, "Oh, I tried to call you." I'm like, "Yep." Yeah.
Oh my god. Would you say when you were like using the apps,
Mm.
were you using it predominantly for sex, or were you trying to look for friendship at any point?
You and I have spoken about this on the podcast in the past, and it was always a joke that I would never use. Yes, go on,
I'm being
teacher.
professional here, okay?
You and I have joked about this at length about how I would never use the apps for the purpose that they were intended for.
Yes,
I
true.
would go on Grinder and talk to a guy till 3 o'clock in the morning because we got to talk about science
That's
and
so
we had a
cool
commonality.
though.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told you this, but I went for a hookup with a guy and we just sat there and talked about immunology
Work.
for the entire evening
Wow.
until the last minute where things happened. But
You're
in
like, we
that,
need to squeeze this in.
yeah, well, that's the thing. But in
Oh.
hindsight, I was like, that never really needed to happen. You almost felt
Oh.
obliged because
It was a hookup.
it was a hookup,
But you could have developed
a great friendship.
a friendship.
Yeah, with the commonality.
Ah, how interesting is that?
Yeah. So I was going on dates with people that I would just wanted to talk with. And then afterwards, it would kind of be weird because I'm not going to invite him back in because we've had a great conversation and it was on a friend basis. And the number of people that have said, yeah, we went on a date, but then we ended up being friends. How many gay people
Yeah.
do we know that
Yeah.
have gone through that? But that can create its own complexities because then if one of you finds a partner and they know that, you slept with your friend, then an insecurity can develop
Yeah.
or you can't understand or gauge as to where you're at with people. So yeah. I mean, I'm not saying don't hook up with people. Do it.
Do what you want.
Do it as often as you want.
Safely.
But I'm just trying to untangle the two.
No, of
You
course.
don't have to have sex with the person who likes watching pro wrestling.
Very true. Very true.
You
What?
like RuPaul's Drag Race, right? Let's fuck.
Yeah, let's just watch
Do you
it.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we can just
It's
watch
like
Drag
you don't
Race.
have to do
Yeah,
that.
you don't.
Can,
You don't.
you can make a pure connection with somebody, and that's where being gay comes in because it is Drag Race is a predominantly queer audience show.
Yeah.
They have such a high retention rate, and it's because it is made by queer people for queer people predominantly, despite being mainstream. And so the chances of somebody else watching RuPaul's Drag Race being a guy is and also being gay is quite high. Do you know what I mean?
Very true. That's why
But
we have
you're not
viewing
gonna go.
parties and it brings us together.
Yeah, but you're not going to go on Grinder and talk to people about that, are you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Oh
mean?
my God. That's so interesting. So, like, is it us as gay people that have changed the app or decided how the app goes? Or do you think the app has a responsibility of where it wants to go?
I think the responsibilities with the app as to where it
Yeah.
wants to go, because the functionality of it will will be determined by what its desired outcome is.
Of course, because now you've got
Grinder is
categories.
Yeah, Grinder is a hookup app.
Mm.
Grinder is not your happily ever after app. If it works out for you, great.
Work.
But they're not sponsored by wedding halls, are they? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to see that coming up. So yeah.
No, that's very true because they'll have the categories of twink and this and
Yeah.
that. So that kind of
Nobody goes on the app and says, right, I want to marry a twink today. Like, no, like, do you know what I mean? You don't do that. You just don't do
but
that.
they will go, I want to bleep a bear today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, of course.
That's what they'll do. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting you say that.
Oh.
I love that. Have you made any friends on other social media apps? Okay, I guess this portion is
Next
over. We
question.
are exiting the
But
room.
that's the thing, though.
Well, you
Like,
connect with artists.
I do connect with artists, but very honestly, I don't have a lot of close friends.
Yeah.
The friends that I've known for years and years and years. I think one of the difficulties I have in making friends is the lack of commonality, because I am a weird person. I know I'm a weird person.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, "Oh, you're funny and you're a lot of fun to be around." Yeah, I know I am. I'm absolutely hilarious and make a career out of it. But I'm also a really oddball.
Yeah, you are.
So like, yeah, do you know what
But
I
I
mean?
love that about you.
Yeah. And but I think if there was a way, because it's like when you meet somebody new, you're like, yes, amazing, great. And I'm like, oh my God, in a few weeks' time, they're going to find out I'm a weirdo. Like, do you know what I mean? But if there was a way in which people just knew who I was and we'd be able to get past that and then connect, that would be great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's so interesting because for me it was backwards. I didn't like what you were like at first. But then
Mm,
when you showed the real you and really delved into it, I loved you. Because I was like, oh, this person's wacky. This
yeah.
person's stupid, hilarious, crazy, and like doolally
Mhm.
and a bit wild in like the way you think your brain and stuff and creative and stuff. And I love that about you. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. You are very unique, I would say, in that way. But
Unique.
people just need to let go more.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's a different story. I
Yeah.
think people.
That's a story for
That's a
another
story for another
day.
day. I think people do need to let go more. But yeah, for sure. I think the way apps work, they do have a responsibility. So that's why I do want to talk a bit about Gather App
Okay.
and my findings on Gather App and what you think about Gather App in its version that I can never pronounce what version it's in.
Beta.
Beta version. What does beta mean?
It's secondary, alpha, beta.
Okay.
So it's like a final. It's like a. I don't want to say draft, but it's like this is the first version of it
Okay. Work.
before the official launch of the first
Okay.
version.
Fab.
So a software is in beta version, it gets put out there to a select number of people, or it can go out as a mass, and people will use it and then give feedback on their experience usually, or the application gathers feedback based on usage.
Oh, I love the way you did that. Gather.
Gather,
Gather.
gather
So we're
hard.
going to take a short break
Uh-huh.
and we'll be right back. And we are back.
We are brown.
And I am, if you are watching on the YouTube, if you're watching anywhere else, I'm proper official. I've got the iPad.
Oh, she's gone landscape.
Oh, yeah.
now.
I really want to give it to the girls because I think, the Gather app deserve it.
Why have you gone from portrait to landscape? Who do you think you are? What does that say about you?
I just want to show versatility.
Yeah, because you went
I'm
from
the wrong
like,
way.
you went from like portrait mode, which was very like Barbara Walters, like this is my notepad. And now you're like landscape. Now you just sat there watching Netflix.
I'm giving teacher
You're
today.
giving teacher.
I'm giving throwback to the old me. I'm
Yeah.
giving year 11. Do you know what? It's giving year 8, not year 11.
What is that the caliber you think that I'm at right now?
Yeah, I'm like year 8
Wow.
because year 8 will be a bit like, And I'm come on, year 8, chill out.
Is that what you think
We're
my
not year
voice
eight.
sounds like?
Do you know what? Love you all.
You know what my impression of you doing your voice is?
Go on.
Hi.
Thank you. It better be,
No,
or else
you're like
when the cameras are off, I'm
no,
gonna cut your wigs.
You're like Scrappy Doo meets Cookie Monster.
Go, go on, do your
Yeah, oh
impression.
my god.
Wait, who does that sound
Yeah, I'll
like?
tell you.
Candy Muse.
Candy Muse.
But we love Candy. She says we love you, Candy.
Yeah.
Don't come for me.
Do you remember when she started looking like Danny Beard for like half a year? Just unprovoked.
I love that new thing that you're doing. It's unprovoked.
I was like scrolling.
He's
and I
always
was so
saying,
funny.
"That's just I'm doing it unprovoked."
I'm like, yeah,
It's like I'm dressing like a
this
Disney
is
mother,
me.
unprovoked.
Yeah, this is me, unprovoked and
Honestly,
and unhinged.
I'm gathering the girls, unprovoked. I'm doing landscape.
Oh no, bitch, you are provoked. This episode is with
Gather
Gather.
up.
Yeah, you are provoked.
So gather up.
And please move your arm away from my camera. You just fully went into my camera.
Oh, sorry.
How do you like it?
I'm not bothered.
Yeah, sure. Do you?
I'm actually not bothered.
Yeah.
Hey, girls. I ain't bothered.
Okay, go on.
So I do want to deliver some information about Gather App.
Yeah, let's go through the deliverables.
And I want you to tell me what. I hate you so much. We love you, Gather App. So Gather App, this is literally a quote from them that I want to read word to word to ensure that everyone has an understanding what Gather App is. So they say that Gather App is where gay men create social groups according to their interests, and it's to promote more natural encounters, connection, and privacy. So gay men actually use Gather App.
Familiar.
Are you sure about that? Gay men.
I've heard of them.
So the whole idea about around Gather App is it's to promote social interests, not for hookups.
Yes.
So you essentially go on there and you can see people in your local area, you know, like other apps, but you create your own group based on an interest, and you can invite people to that group based on that interest. I think that's pretty cool, don't you?
I think that's amazing.
Now, if I was to ask you, if you were to create a group, you want to make gay friends, right? You're in a new neighborhood. What is the group that you want to create to attract people in with a common interest of yours?
If I was to use the Gather app to create a social group with a common interest, I think the group that I would create is probably entrepreneurs
Ooh.
or soul traders.
Go.
I'd love to create a group where you can share best practice. And the reason why I say that is because of my personal experiences as a drag queen, because I am technically a business owner as a drag queen. And it is quite unnerving navigating yourself as a business, as a cross-dresser in the business environment. I do have a business background and I'm fine in the corporate environment, but what I've realized as my drag has grown is that as an artist, as a creative, I have found myself more and more in corporate environments and atmospheres, and that's absolutely fine. But it is different navigating it as a gay man. So I think if I was to, and it can be little things like, what if you're in a boardroom talking about how you use makeup? And I've had this with when I was talking to like producers of a TV show or whatever, and I'm talking to them and I'm feeling really nervous because I'm like, my product is me and I'm sat here in a wig. Do you know what I mean? And I think we don't talk enough about that type of stuff. And it would be great to be in a room to talk to people as to, how they're doing, how are they setting their goals, how is their discipline, how is their discipline working for them, how can we better each other, but then also how do we navigate a corporate world, how do you do taxes, what is the best approach, is there any accountant that you would recommend, do you have a lawyer that is LGBT friendly? It's not to say that every lawyer is homophobic, but there's a different way to navigate different environments. So it's that kind of thing. I'd love to create a group where we can talk business amongst members of the Pink Pound.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Well, you can with Gather App, can't you?
Gather.
Gather her.
Yeah.
I would, not that you asked,
Yeah.
because this is about me asking you and I still want to be asked.
Yeah.
I would maybe perhaps make a group about like self-improvement and spirituality and maybe like a book club where we read books and we review them and stuff.
Oh, that'd be
You
really
know,
cute.
something more hobby related.
What if it was like a 5 a.m. meditation club?
Oh, that would be amazing. Like 5 a.m. club, because like
Mm,
you're in my 5 a.m. club now, aren't you?
yeah,
So I've
yeah,
recruited one member so far.
yeah,
So work, we're gonna keep going. I've got a friend in Leeds actually that's in 5 a.m.
yeah,
club as well.
yeah.
That's two members.
Yeah, well, two members, and then we have RuPaul.
Yeah, RuPaul, you're part of my 5 a.m. club.
Yeah,
Gather her.
gather her.
Gather app.
Yeah,
RuPaul's part of Gather app with
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Why not?
Should we move into a house?
Yeah, lock on you. Lock on you. No, I love that aspect of it. And, the CEO did say, and I quote, lonely people
I
like.
love how you are like in charge of cups and ice, from like Phoebe and
Yeah, I
Friends.
know.
You are proper giving Phoebe today.
No.
You're like,
I
I
was-
know the CEO, and this is my iPad, and we're going to talk about the app. You're so cute.
I kind of stole this a concept of some other podcasting stuff where they
Wow.
wanted to do this legit thing. Okay, now shut up. Okay, lonely people like me would have a little more joy and happiness in their lives. That's what the CEO does. So I like the intent behind it. I think intent is really, really important, because the CEO's intent is he's placed himself there. I'm putting my hand in your vision thing, aren't I? See,
My
in your
vision thing called the camera. Wow. English isn't my language, and you've been living in a hut all day, haven't you? You don't know what
I kind of finish all my activities by.
foreign thing.
I kind of finish all my outside activities by 8 a.m. So
Yeah.
yeah, work. So yeah, I think it's cool that his intent is to like not cure, but like help his own loneliness,
Mhm.
and he's placed himself realizing, wait, maybe loads of other people feel like this.
Mhm.
So how about I create an app where we can have groups? I mean, we can have like Beyonce brunch party.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We can have Gaga club. We can have RuPaul's Drag Race viewing parties. You can have reading, writing, journaling, yoga. There's like clubs, and
What if you are a middle class white person who just feels, or maybe you're an upper class white person who just wants to play lacrosse?
work.
And do you know what? You haven't met enough people who want to play lacrosse. Or what if you want to take a trip to Montenegro so that you can play polo with your friends, and you're feeling rather lonely because you only recently hit the lottery and you don't know people who want to do the same thing? Gather. Yeah.
Gather app.
Find those people.
No, I love that. But I'm going to tell you something really cool about Gather app.
Uh-huh.
Not only is making a club on Gather app really easy to do in minutes, your privacy is protected very well,
Oh,
because
fab.
you have to be approved, pictures approved, everything. And you can also win coin. You can win money on Gather app.
Oh,
Gather app are giving you money for being part of a club and turning up to the club.
like Drag Race.
And literally, no.
The Gather Up are doing mini challenges.
This is a mini challenge.
Yeah.
Maxi mini challenge, whatever
Okay.
you want it to be. So you can turn up to the clubs in the club, and you can engage with people and make friends, and you can win anywhere from a couple of $100 all the way to thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow.
You can win money. How do you feel about that?
I feel motivated.
Oh, work.
Yeah, that kind
Okay.
of motivates me to, because when it comes to socializing, you can talk about the problem and you can find the solution, but then the other pain point is actually doing it and putting yourself out there.
Mm.
But if you're incentivized with money, then you're like, whether I get the money or not, it's incentive enough to go, do you know what? I might as well. Because what have you got to lose? What's the
Mm.
worst that's going to happen? You're going to make a friend.
Yeah, true.
You might as well.
You might make 5 friends, and
Yeah.
you might meet 5 times, and you
Yeah.
all might get some money, and you can go on holiday together.
Yeah,
Why not?
100%.
And the functionality is quite easy in making the group.
Mm,
It's really, really like super easy.
yeah.
I'm living for it. So it's in this, beta version.
Shall we make groups?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Treat ourselves. It's in its
Yeah.
beta version right now, and I think Gather App does have a lot of potential.
Mhm.
As long as it continues to like spread into the world, and in my opinion, what I'd love to see is like pre-made groups in areas. I
Okay.
think that could get people motivated to start with. Like kind of like obvious ones like fitness and
Well, you can have
da-da-da-da.
categories.
Or encourage people that are already on the app to make groups and get money.
Yeah, I think maybe like you could have categories, and then you can have other maybe
Hmm.
or something.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels like with Gather App, it feels like it's definitely an app more about friendship
Hmm.
than just let's go round there and put my hole, put something in a hole and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's
It's a little bit more than 80 loads.
girl, that's TMI. We've been there with that conversation,
Yeah, we've been there
but
with that conversation.
yeah, nothing
Nothing
else.
else.
Trust
No.
and believe.
No hotels were booked.
No,
No.
no, 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 no,
Or
no,
visited.
no, no. But
But
yeah,
no shame.
no,
No
no shame,
judgment.
no judgment.
No
Sorry,
judgment.
yeah, all that. So yeah, it's about Gather Up is more about friendship, which I
Yeah.
like. I'm looking forward to see it grow. The new version will be out around June, and we will be doing another episode about the new version of it and exploring the new version of the app.
Yeah. Maybe we can
Ooh,
make groups and see what our
I think
experiences were.
so. I
Yeah.
think we should make groups and
Yeah.
come on, get over here, gays. But I don't
Yeah.
want them to come here,
What do you mean?
like in our place.
Who's inviting people here?
Oh, good. I just want to make sure. I don't want a Gaga party here.
You created the problem yourself,
Yeah, I
and
know.
then you putting it on me.
Yeah, it's easy doing that.
At what point did I say make a Gaga group and invite everyone here and have a concert? Did I say that at any point? You just coming for me unprovoked.
Anyway,
Yes.
to sum up,
To summarize,
to, s-
yeah, let's
to
summarize.
summarize,
Let's just close all the
let's
loose
just do all
ends.
this
Yeah,
jazz.
yeah,
Gather App,
yes,
new,
yes,
fresh,
yes,
gay
yes.
app, and it's all about community, making friends, making groups of common interests, winning money, and hopefully making lifelong friends
Yeah,
and curing. Let's bring it back and really like helping solve that problem of loneliness. There's a problem in the LGBT community, and that's loneliness.
yeah.
So Gather App is here to potentially help alleviate and solve the problem of loneliness.
It couldn't have come at a better time, to be honest
I
with
agree.
you, especially in a post-pandemic world, because I think myself included, I have lost the ability to socialize.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
takes a lot out of me. Once I've done it, like I've been
yeah,
out once with friends, I'm like, I probably won't see you for a while.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
tough.
yeah. But I think great starting point or a great solution is hanging out with people who have a commonality. Because you might as well. Why are you gonna do work 9 to 5 only to go into a bar and hopefully find somebody who you then have to convince that you're not a piece of crap, and then you have a half-assed friendship that ends up in having sex? Why do you want to do that? Why not find somebody? Why not connect with people that you already have a commonality with? Your love of Star Wars, your love for Lady Gaga, your love for needlepoint, your love for knitting and reading and Bollywood and
Meditating.
meditating and fitness and Pokemon and manga,
Yeah,
whatever.
you're
You
right.
can you can choose it, and you can
Oh,
go,
that's
do you
put
know
quite
what?
nicely.
Yeah. And be like, we're the manga Marys, and
Oh, that's so
we're gonna,
cool.
connect on who our favorite characters are, and then we're gonna go to a convention, and then one day we're gonna plan a trip to Japan.
I think with the money that we win from Gather App,
There you go. How
girl,
cool,
I think that'd be
right?
fantastic.
Amazing.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed this episode.
I have enjoyed this a lot. It's nice coming back.
Yeah, it
We've had a little
is.
bit of a sabbatical, and it's nice coming back, especially in this way.
It is. It really,
And
really is.
yeah, I feel good. I feel like I'm reaching a higher level of consciousness. I feel a change in me,
Good.
and I love you more and more as each day goes by.
Oh, that's so cute. I love you too. I love you so much.
I love you,
But
glued up
you don't
girl.
love me. Goodbye. Gather up, gather up, gather up.